Growing up on a cattle farm prepared him for all the manure in D.C. Author of the great new book, Only the Strong, Senator Tom Cotton. She'll make your heart go soft as she talks your ear off. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. Crowds at his shows are lining up to pull the fire alarm. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. And finally, she's hanging on by a thread, which is fun because she weighs like 90 pounds. Fox News contributor Kat Tipp. Senator, congratulations on the great new book. I've just started it. It's called Only the Strong. It's based on me, right?
Yes. I only bet you, Greg.
Yeah, I would hope so. So when you hear this kind of rhetoric from other people blaming us, it's like the riots never happened. It's like the looting never happened. It's like burn it all down was never said. It's like somehow it's conservatives that are running around egging on like mobs of violence. They forget about Judge Kavanaugh. They forget about all of that stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, and remember, Gavin Newsom, before he was the failed governor of California, was the failed mayor of San Francisco. So he's responsible for a lot of these problems in San Francisco specifically. Mm-hmm. San Francisco styles itself as a sanctuary city where they welcome illegal aliens like this deranged lunatic that attacked Paul Pelosi. San Francisco had one of the very first Soros prosecutors before the people of San Francisco got so sick of him, they kicked him out.
Right.
But that's why you've seen a crime wave devastate this great American city. And then for Gavin Newsom to turn around and blame it on Republicans who point out that Nancy Pelosi has done things like pass Obamacare or cause inflation with $5 trillion that we don't have is the height of hypocrisy. By allowing mental lunatics out on the streets, by not cracking down on crime and throwing the books at them, by welcoming illegal aliens, you inevitably have this kind of crime in our streets. And it's not just Paul Pelosi. It's all of the normal Californians who aren't married to the speaker who suffer the most.
Exactly. You know, Emily, is this really just about hairline? Governor Newsom is looking at like Jesse's hair, and it's like it's some weird, bizarre, subliminal competition.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why he also sets his targets on Governor DeSantis too, right? It's like the guys that are competing with him in the looks department.
Yes.
So say some people.
Yes.
I used to live in San Francisco, Senator, under then Mayor Newsom's reign. And he talks about, you know, the sewage, he says, that is amplified online, that's being spewed out by these networks. I had to endure his sewage from the beginning. His policies are the sewage. They have led to the actual sewage on the streets of San Francisco, where my friends who still live there have to wade through on their way to get to work. It is choking the fish to the tune of billions of dollars that now taxpayers in that city are on the hook for. It is literally full of out of his mouth and his administration. So when people like Swalwell, too, who represents across the bay from Dublin and also says there's no colleague of mine that have advocated for violence. This show's not long enough for me to run through that litany. Everyone from Maxine Waters to Rep Bowman. There's a civil war if the GOP wins. Elizabeth Warren, Nancy Pelosi talking about the Supreme Court. That rhetoric absolutely does matter. But I'll say that the responsibility, I say, lies at the top. Because before Justice Kavanaugh had a would-be assassin on his front lawn, there was nothing from the White House.
Yeah.
There was nothing from the elected official at the very top that said, I condemn this rhetoric of violence. No, everyone, tone it down. Let's actually be conciliatory. Let me be that unifier in chief I campaigned on being. So all of this simmering, of course it's going to be incendiary. Of course it's going to lead to someone on Kavanaugh's lawn that the mainstream media has forgotten, as well as this, you know, this guy in his bus, whatever. But the bottom line is this administration did nothing to curb it from the beginning so that all of this didn't lead to that exploded pimple. That is that guy.
You know, Joe, you also live in a bus, so you might have some insight. Insight into the psyche of this unbalanced man. Did you know him at all? People live in buses. Do they talk to each other?
You see a lot of right-wing radicals in buses with rainbow flags and BLM signs out in front of them. That is the calling card.
This guy's politics was all over the map. But I have to say, we have to be, it was a political attack. I mean, he's basically saying it's a political attack, but he's also insane.
Of course. Well, they were going to say that no matter. It could have been Elizabeth Warren hitting him in the head with a tomahawk, and they still would have said, Although that's the only time they would have said she was white.
Yeah.
But they would have blamed it on him. Look at the way it started. They said that they were going there for a routine wellness check, and they get there, and now it's two guys in their underwear fighting over a hammer, which in San Francisco is considered a routine wellness check, let's be honest. But yeah, it's absurd that they say this is a result of policies, like you mentioned, that the policies they're against would have prevented this from happening.
Amen.
He says the sewage as a metaphor when it's literal sewage in the streets. He says it creates an environment. Well, the environment you've created is these camps with drug addicts and untreated mentally ill people. We've got people coming from Canada who shouldn't be here. We've got to build that wall. We cannot have these Canadians coming down here. We can't do it.
People forget about the Canadian wall.
Yeah, you give them an inch and they'll take 1.6 kilometers.
You just say... That's very funny. You have to say, build that wall, eh? Hey. All right, Kat, what have you accepted the media's claim that it was about rhetoric? What is the solution then? That's the beauty of this. There is none. They don't have to solve it except say that it's your fault.
Yeah, he said Fox News, which I do take personally. But obviously, it's not Jesse Waters' fault that he did this. But Gavin Newsom basically said he was like so famous that even this bus-dwelling lunatic knows not only who he is, but what he discusses on his show. Like, that's a huge compliment in a way.
Yeah,
but like there's household name, but then there's doesn't even have a household name. That's like fame, baby.
I totally disagree. There is no way that guy even knew who Jesse was.
I know, but Gavin Newsom thinks Jesse is that famous. I would say thank you, Gavin. You're right. I am a star.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a bus-hold name.
Yeah.
He's a bus-hold name.
There's no way he knew who Jesse Waters is.
That is amazing. I always wanted to be a bus-hold name.
And not even one that moves.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's why, you know what? Who wants to live in a moving bus? That's no fun. Up next is Homeland Security monitoring your ideological purity.
That was quick.
And rewarding. I earn 3% cash back at drugstores with Chase Freedom Unlimited. That means I earn on my bug spray and my sunscreen. You ready to go fishing?
I got the bait.
I also earn 5% on travel purchased through Chase on this rental car. That lake is calling my name.
Don't you get seasick?
We'll find out. Come on. And I earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
So much for catching our dinner.
Some people are hunters, some are gatherers. I'm a diner. Earn big time with Chase Freedom Unlimited with no annual fee. How do you cash back? Chase, make more of what's yours.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, the inventor of LifeVac, a simple rescue device that could save a life in a choking emergency. All these people were saved by LifeVac. People may not realize that on average, 14 people a day die from choking-related incidents. Every 5 days, one of those is a child.
As simple as place, push, pull.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
Camping World's semi-annual pre-auction RV sale is going on now. We've brought in more than $500 million of RV inventory that we're making available to the public. Rather than take these RVs to the auction, we want to pass these incredible savings on to you. All offers will be considered. First come, first served. When these RVs are gone, they're gone. Stop by or make an offer now at campingworld.com. It's the semi-annual pre-auction RV sale at your local Camping World. Don't miss it.
You could manufacture a whole new way of manufacturing. Disrupt buying habits before they disrupt your business. And fuel the search for what comes next. So, what are you waiting for?
No one thinks about their hearing until you start losing it. And then you think about it a lot. This doesn't help. And the whole process of getting them, is a royal pain in the ear. If only there was a better way. This is Eargo. Yes, right here. Incredible, right? What's more, you get all the support you need, all from here. Sitting right here.
Hey, thanks for helping me out.
Of course. You can easily get helpful customer service over the phone or on the Progressive app, pretty much anywhere. Like at the coffee shop, at the park, or on the moon. Just kidding. It's another coffee shop.
Lee Zeldin on Tucker Carlson tonight. Inside a new poll that has him in the lead over his opponent. Will New York elect its first Republican governor in 20 years? Tucker has the must-see interview tomorrow.
New customers get our best deals on all smartphones.
That's right.
But what if I'm already a customer?
Oh, no problem. Hey, Cam.
Yeah. Oh, same deal.
Yeah, it's kind of our thing.
Oh, it's a great deal. What if I'm new to AT&T?
Cam, can...
Oh, nice.
Hey, but what about for existing
Oh,
customers?
it's the same deal.
Is he okay?
It's not complicated. With AT&T, new and existing customers get our best deals on every smartphone.
Allergens, respiratory droplets, dust, dangers to your breathing. Get My Pure Mist Ultra Pure Steam Inhaler. Boom, it's on. Germs destroyed, droplets and allergens terminated in their tracks. Pure effective steam making your sinuses happy. Whoa, breathing again. More than 1,000 5 stars on Amazon, so approved by you. My Pure Mist, the best thing to happen to breathing, period. And yeah, all the best retailers have it. Do it.
Dogs in America are experiencing a health crisis, and the cause may be one specific thing in their diet. It's in hundreds of dog foods, and you may have already noticed warning signs like digestive problems, itching, bad breath, and odors, but the long-term impact can be far worse. Fortunately, world-famous veterinarian Gary Richter has a new trick to improve your dog's food at home without switching brands. To learn how to help your dog live a long, healthy life, just visit checkyourdogfood.com. That's checkyourdogfood.com.
It's the secret government group who still have permission to snoop. It's a report that's more explosive than Michael Moore after a Vegas buffet. Pretty explosive, if you ask me. You remember the doomed disinfo board that was led by crazy show tunes lady Nina Jankowicz? She was asked to stop singing after a bag full of drowning cats complained about the noise. But it was scrapped due to public outcry and questions about its legality. But now internal documents from the Department of Homeland Security obtained by The Intercept show that government and law enforcement are collaborating with social media giants to squelch certain content. I guess money wasn't the only thing the Bidens brought back from China. According to one DHS document, the push includes plans to target inaccurate info on COVID's origins, racial justice, the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the nature of U.S. support to Ukraine. All topics the government and media would never consider lying to the public about. Unless, of course, they felt like it. In short, it's everything we've been lied to about already because it's everything that makes the Dems look bad. Facebook's even created a special portal where anyone with a .gov or law enforcement email address can request censorship of a Facebook or Instagram post in the name of fighting disinformation. In the name of. Here's The Intercept's Lee Fang on Tucker Carlson.
We looked at one text where Microsoft executive texts Jen Easterly, the top disinfo director at DHS appointed by Biden, basically saying the private sector needs to get more comfortable with the government. This is an agency that was founded in the aftermath of 9/11 to combat foreign terror threats of Al-Qaeda and the like. But over the last 5 years, it's kind of evolved in its mission. It's moved towards fighting disinfo.
So DHS, once set up for fighting foreign terror, now fights free speech at home. So forget ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Chinese labs that leak like Biden's underwear. Your Aunt Joan shared a Hillary Clinton meme. Get her! I wonder what the president thinks about all this.
You guys want everything free, huh? I gave you free college loans, now you want free speech? And besides, you can say whatever you want. It's just if we don't like what you said, we'll put you in jail, that's all. And it's not even real jail, it's Twitter jail or Facebook jail. Back in the old days, we had to do real jail. I spent 19 years in Shawshank. I had to dig my way out with a rock hammer behind a poster of Rita Hayworth. That's the way real men did it. Too bad, though. Corn Pop hung himself in a hotel room.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. So you, Senator, you led kind of the force in trying to defund the disinfo board, and that thing went away like CNN Plus. But the scary part is they can say anything in the name of disinformation. Anything can be that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the singing disinformation lady, you know, Scary Poppins or whatever her name was, may be gone, but the Democrats' effort to suppress the views of normal Americans with whom they disagree is still alive and present. You know, you hear Democrats talk a lot about threats to democracy. I think what worries them more is threats from democracy. And the threats they face next week at this election. But just think about the kind of things that they would censor today, not just take you off your social media platform, say you should lose your job for, or maybe lose your bank account for, that if maybe you don't think your healthy teenage boy should take the coronavirus vaccine, or a healthy teenage girl should have a double mastectomy.
Right.
Or maybe climate change can be best addressed by producing clean fossil fuels here in America and the prosperity that comes with that, and dealing with mitigation of climate change. These are kind of things that the left would rather not engage on their merits, but rather use government to collude with big tech to censor. And you can kind of see that over the last week as well, just how important it was to them because of the freak out they've had since Elon has taken over Twitter. You see just how important that censorship was to them trying not to win debates, but to suppress debates.
Yeah, it's funny. It was like we found out, Kat, that like Twitter had like a second family across the country, right? It was like, hey, everything's like this. And then Elon takes over and you go, whoa, it's totally different. Where did these people come from? Did that happen to you ever? Have you talked to your husband?
Yeah, we talk sometimes. No, I mean, look, this isn't surprising to me, and it is awful. But I think what's even more awful is this story coming out and the response to it has convinced me more than ever that we're totally because people on the right care about this, but everybody should care about this because it's not like if the left stops being in power, this kind of stuff will go away. This story comes out, and you know what all that people on the left were outraged about was, well, this guy went on Tucker. Tucker's bad.
That's right.
Do you not understand that we're talking about our ability to speak freely and have access to information? The idea that there is government-sanctioned information and, you know, information that's not sanctioned by the government goes against everything in this country. I don't care who you are, who you vote for. You should be totally pissed off and terrified by it.
Joe, I don't mind if the government calls you up and says, hey, I want to let you know this Twitter address, Joe DeVito, is actually a Chinese spy. That would be helpful to me. But after the Hunter laptop, the way they all joined together to bury that thing, they've lost all credibility.
Sure. Well, they're telling us they're going to protect us against disinformation. Their record on spreading information is not that great. So, yeah, it's like Kat said, it's really scary that they talk about things like, they say threat to democracy, and then they say, well, free speech, and if too many people come out and vote, that's a threat to democracy. It's like, no, that's kind of what leads us to a democracy. That's the benefit of democracy. And you're right, with seeing the freakouts on Twitter, none of them are saying, all right, this information I don't like or opinions I don't like is showing up. I'm going to stay here and argue with it. They're just saying, well, we're leaving, we're never coming back, as if we're supposed to say, please don't go.
Yeah.
Please don't go. Go right ahead. I hear Truth Social's nice.
Yes, exactly. You know, what do you think, Emily, of the topics that they chose? It's kind of funny that, like, origins of COVID, racial justice, these are all kinds of things that they only want one opinion. So it's like you mentioned 4 opinions, 3 opinions that would probably be edited out of other shows.
That's right. I'm so glad that you said that, because the most disturbing part about this, other than the censorship itself, is the vagueness of all of these topics. What is racial justice, I wonder? And in that huge conversation about identifying it, that means that this government, or those that they deem acceptable to flag it, can have it be as broadly defined as they want. So does that mean that a conversation we have about the criminal justice system, about racial inequities in a way of data that maybe thrived under the prior administration, all of a sudden, oh, no, we deem that to be false, so let's suppress that? As you mentioned, there's a separate portal for government officials to flag exactly what they're... 3/4 of the CIA parking lot are a bunch of Priuses. I don't trust any one of them. And part of the FOIA documents that came out was in March in a meeting, one of the top FBI officials said, we're afraid that this disinformation could lead to, let me quote it exactly, threat of subversive on social media could undermine support for the U.S. government. They're doing it themselves. It's like this. This is the worst way for our tax dollars to be spent, and that is saying a lot considering we just learned that Ecuadorian consulate got like hundreds of thousands of dollars for drag performances for children.
All right, we got to move on. Up next, COVID tyrants want us to get along now that they've been proven wrong.
the stock is bubbling in the pot. Just a wait till they taste what we've got.
With a big fresh carrot and a whole lot of cheese.
And the mirror from your van is halfway down the street. Well, you can say that. Wait, what?
Well, I said someone just clipped the side view mirror right off the delivery van.
When owning a small business gets real, Progressive gets you right back to living the dream.
Now, where were we?
Why, you were fixing to peel me.
Are you feeling sluggish or weighed down? Metamucil's new fiber plus collagen can help. When taken daily, it supports your health, starting with your digestive system. Metamucil's plant-based fiber forms a gel to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down, helps lower cholesterol, and promotes healthy blood sugar levels, while its collagen peptides help support your joint structures. So start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day. Try Metamucil Fiber Gummies, made with a prebiotic plant-based fiber blend that helps promote digestive health.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and in light of the recent events, your continued support means everything to myself and my employees. To thank you, we're having the biggest sale ever on all MyPillow bedding. Get MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98. In this economy, instead of buying a new bed, rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. We also have blankets in a variety of sizes, colors, and styles, like plush, waffle, or gossamer, for as low as $29.98. We even have pet blankets from small size to the ones for your car. Get huge discounts on duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code and you'll get huge discounts on all MyPillow bedding, including MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $29.98. Get all your shopping in while quantities last. Please order now.
Is it just me, or does online dating feel like a total waste of time? I've spent hours on these apps, and it's gotten me nowhere. Can we just stop? I want to meet someone I would actually want to date, someone I would feel comfortable introducing to my friends, you know? It's Just Lunch is so much better. It's not a dating app, not even close. You work with a matchmaker. She got to know me, asked me what I like to do, what I'm looking for, and then she got to work. And you know, if you meet him through It's Just Lunch, he's just as serious as you are.
At It's Just Lunch, our experienced matchmakers know what it takes to bring the right people together. Call 800-756-0949 to find out what our professional matchmakers can do for you.
There are good guys out there. We just need a little help finding them.
Call It's Just Lunch at 800-756-0949.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis persists, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When UC got unpredictable, I got rapid symptom relief with Rinvoq. Check.
When UC held me back, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when UC got the upper hand,
Rinvoq helped visibly repair the colon lining. Check. Rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission, and a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
That's good. Oh, here we are. After 2 years of abuse, COVID scolds want a truce. A piece in The Atlantic, the magazine, not the ocean that protects us from France, argues that it's time to declare a, quote, pandemic amnesty. The author writes, quote, we need to forgive one another for what we did and said when we were in the dark about COVID, which means you need to forget people like me who effed up your lives and were jerks about it. She talks about the early response, like when Dr. Fauci went from recommending no masks to wrapping your whole face in damp plaster. She says those who got it right may gloat while others might get defensive, and, quote, all this gloating and defensiveness continues to gobble up a lot of social energy and to drive the culture wars. Treating pandemic choices as a scorecard is preventing us from moving forward. I hate moving forward. So when they wished for your painful death, it was nothing personal. And if you can't forgive, at least be like Joe Biden and forget. But Forgiveness is easier said than done. After the economy was decimated, a generation of school kids were rendered stupid, and Senator Cotton was forced to wear a mask during his hot years. If you even asked questions about vaccines, you were treated like you were more reckless than Matthew Perry at an open bar. Meanwhile, CDC head Rochelle Walensky got jabbed with more needles than the Rolling Stones on tour in '72. And you just tested positive for COVID a third time. But let me set the record straight. I'm all for the amnesty because forgiveness is a civil virtue. It's why I let Kat back on the show, even after she threw that toaster in my jacuzzi. But that's usually the case with the right. We forgive. But the left, the only thing they forgive is their own student loans. And it was never about health and safety with them. It was about bossing people around like they're the orphans who washed Judge Janine's dogs. So I'm all about forgiveness within limits.
Hi, excuse me. Whiskey. Okay. Look, I hate to complain, but the bathroom in my room smells moldy. Could you just... The bathroom in my room smells moldy, and there's like this hidden resort fee on my bill.
A lot of mistakes have been made, but remember, holding on to anger only gives you blisters. Can you forgive us?
Yeah, I forgive you. I realize these things happen.
Good. This is the perfect time to tell you that I've been having an affair with your wife. Can I interest you two in our loyalty program?
No, honey, what are you doing in Tucson?
You get a free water bottle.
I don't care.
Are you ready to forgive, Mr. DeVito?
No. Forgiving is for suckers.
Really?
No. Because what I did not read in that article or hear from these people is, I'm sorry.
Yes.
They're asking for forgiveness, but they're not saying they did anything wrong.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and what they did wrong was, it wasn't that people asked, it wasn't the questions that people asked, it was that they asked questions. You weren't allowed to ask any questions. What is wrong with someone saying, I don't know, does ivermectin work, without hearing, that's horse medicine, you have horse worms. Well, maybe I do. That's not the point I'm making. But we even saw Jake Tapper said, when they looked at this, how poorly students are doing, he's like, how come we didn't have a debate on this? Because if you tried to, they took control of your bank account.
Yes.
They called you a grandma killer, and they screamed at you. Mm-hmm. And now they're coming around. What I would like to see is some real contrition. It's not to say, at the beginning we didn't know. Look, at the beginning nobody knew it was happening. But there was a point when you knew that these things didn't work, and the way we can tell is because the people in charge acted like the rules didn't apply to them. Dr. Fauci maskless at a baseball game. London Breed saying the music swept her up at a party dancing maskless. AOC going to Florida maskless. And then Lori Lightfoot said she had to get her hair done because she owed it to the people of Chicago to look good, which is clearly a debt that has not been paid in her case. So we could tell it just was they got a taste of power and putting their thumb on people, and that's what they should apologize for being tyrants.
All right, Emily. Yeah, I'm for forgiveness, but this guy with the beard who lives in a bus made a good point. They're not asking for it. They're not apologizing. So how can you forgive people if they don't apologize?
Right. Those were great points. And the blanket amnesty is way too overbroad. Look at Governor Cuomo. How many people died under his absolute insidious decision and then the resulting cover-up? How much of our taxpayer dollars went toward the billions of dollars in fraud? And the entire time that all of these overlays were unfolding, that the data was being unearthed about the mental health and the mental health status of our kids and everyone else, in the isolation and the rules for thee and not for thee in certain ordinances under Gavin Newsom's watch, for example, places of worship versus places of entertainment, all of that happening. Any time that data even tried to surface, it was totally tamped down. So I think forgiving an absolute lack of knowledge is one thing, but that entire spectrum developed way after that, where there was a total tyranny, to your point, a misuse of everything, a misguidance. And by the way, does that request for amnesty, does that extend to President Trump? I'll bet it doesn't.
Of course it doesn't. Good point there, Emily. Where are you on the forgiveness spectrum? Somewhat forgivable, unforgivable?
Well, I'm opposed to amnesty in all its form, whether we're dealing with illegal aliens or all of these COVID tyrants. I mean, I think Joe makes a very good point. We're not just talking about the early days of the pandemic, when we had the Chinese communists to blame for covering up the information and preventing us from understanding who was uniquely at risk, like elderly and infirm persons, and who weren't, like school children. We're talking about what was happening in the summer of 2020 and on into the fall, and even in some cases still today. I mean, Joe Biden is still trying to kick thousands of healthy soldiers out of our military because they won't get a vaccine that obviously doesn't stop transmission because the most vaccinated and boosted man in America, Joe Biden himself, got COVID twice in 1 week. And they're still suing in court to force kids in Head Start to wear masks. Just this morning, I'm in town for the launch of Only the Strong. I was going to be at CBS Mornings. They told me at the last minute, everyone who enters our building has to take a COVID test, whether you're asymptomatic or not. So I just said, no, you can send a studio truck to me or I won't do it. But if you don't think that the people who are insisting on tests at major news networks are also the people in universities and colleges and governors in Democratic states and the Democrats in Washington aren't going to start taking these steps again after the election next week, you're sorely mistaken. Because they have not given this up. Washington, D.C., more than any place I've traveled in the country in the last few months on the campaign trail, has more masks per capita than anywhere. They're still dedicated to this COVID tyranny.
I'm kind of glad that a lot of those people in D.C. are still wearing masks. I mean, have you seen some of them, Kat? Oh, my God. I wish the mask went all the way up. Horrible. Their foreheads especially. Disgusting. Terrible eyeballs or noses or ears. What do you think?
Yeah. I loved how the teachers union had Randy Weidgard. She shared this article and went, I agree with this. I bet you do, you big jerk. I mean, like everyone else has said, it's one thing at the very beginning of the pandemic where nobody knew. This wasn't a case of ignorance. It was intentional hypocrisy, as you pointed out, that they repeatedly engaged in. By the way. They said, I know. In my defense, he's only worked with us for like over a year.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. And I think that they didn't know, but what they didn't know was that it would stop being politically advantageous.
Yes.
That's what they didn't know. So now that they figured that out, they're like, hey, why don't you just forgive all of us? But they haven't said they're sorry, and there's people that still suffer with the consequences. Businesses that were forced to shut down so long they couldn't stay open at all, those people, they still don't have their business.
Right.
People who couldn't say goodbye to loved ones, they can't re-say goodbye to them because they're dead. So I think that we're going to need to have a little more, and also awareness that they were able to do this so we can watch out for this kind of thing in the future.
Good point. All right. Coming up, would you choose dysentery or costume social commentary?
At Safelite, we take care of vehicles with the latest technology. We can replace your windshield and recalibrate your safety system.
And they recycled my old glass.
Don't wait, schedule today.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. The Great Big Tree Spree is going on now at Michael's. All trees are on sale. Get 50% off trees in-store and online and get Black Friday prices now on select trees. Plus, earn up to 6% in Michael's Rewards. Hurry in. Sale ends November 12th.
You could manufacture a whole new way of manufacturing. You could disrupt buying habits before they disrupt your business. You could fire up a new generation of startups and fuel the search for what comes next. So, what are you waiting for? Go. Baker Tilly.
Do you feel like the way you clean your ears at home doesn't work well enough? I felt the same way, but then I tried the WaxRx ear wash system. WaxRx was designed by a doctor, and it's the same system used in medical clinics. The reusable WaxRx system has everything you need to effectively remove earwax at home without the inconvenience of a doctor's visit.
You should use the doctor-trusted WaxRx ear wash system. You can get it now at Walgreens and Walmart today.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my original My Slippers are back in stock. You've made them a huge success, and now I've added smaller sizes, larger sizes, wide sizes, and all new colors. And with your promo code, you still save $90 a pair. Not only that, I'm having the biggest closeout sale ever on our sandals and slides for as low as $19.98. What makes my slippers different is my exclusive 4-layer design that you're not going to find in any other slippers. My slippers' patented layers make them ultra comfortable, extremely durable, and they help reduce stress on your feet. Wear them anytime, anywhere. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen now. Use your promo code to save $90 on my original My Slippers, or for as low as $19.98, you can get our sandals or slides. Quantities won't last long, and with my 60-day money-back guarantee, you can rest assured they'll be the most comfortable footwear you'll ever own.
With this Balsam Hill tree, create your own twinkly light show and enjoy a stunningly realistic tree designed to make setup simple. Save up to 40% with free shipping at balsamhill.com.
This Black Friday, get great deals on furniture, accessories, and mattresses. Plus, Ashley has financing options for every budget. Click the link to find your local Ashley store or shop online today.
Let's go. From Holiday Hills, Illinois, to Rudolph, Wisconsin. From Santa Claus, Indiana, to Snowflake, Arizona. From Garland, Texas, to North Pole, New York, and everywhere in between. We're holiday ready with fast and reliable delivery, serving every address in America. The United States Postal Service.
I've never been healthier.
Shingles doesn't care, but Shingrix protects. Proven over 90% effective. Shingrix is a vaccine used to prevent shingles in adults 50 years and older. Shingrix does not protect everyone and is not for those with severe allergic reactions to its ingredients or to a previous dose. An increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome was observed after getting Shingrix. Fainting can also happen. The most common side effects are pain, redness and swelling at the injection site, muscle pain, tiredness, headache, shivering, fever, and upset stomach. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Shingrix today.
Nothing says Halloween like a political scene. Yeah, The View celebrates the Oscar slap along with their usual crap. The View did Halloween by dressing up kids as various social and political issues. Great idea. But thank God no one went as a slutty nurse. I only throw up when I need to lose weight. So there was a kid dressed as inflation. I wonder if the clothes were from Goodwill. A few children dressed as the Mar-a-Lago raid. Certainly no Trump obsession there. I wonder what costumes they rejected. Trump's taxes, January 6th? How do you dress up as the Capitol? Throw a sheet over Joy Behar? Then there's a kid dressed as the Oscar slap. She looks like she's having a ball. When the Oscar slap kid came out, wardrobe supervisor Ashley Alderfer Kaufman said this.
Now, we do not want to endorse violence of any kind, but we couldn't help but talk about one of the hottest hot topics this year.
Oh, Ashley Alderfer Kaufman, shut up. Thank you. That was an easy. Now, they should have skipped the child's costume and had Will Smith come out as himself. He needs the work. But it could have been worse. The View could have gone as themselves. That usually scares the out of kids. Kat, this isn't offensive. It's just like so ridiculous. Using children as political props.
Yeah, but that's what sucks is because when these kids were coming out, everyone on the couch had to act like it was the funniest, most amazing thing they ever saw because
Yeah.
you can't be mean to kids.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what they do. It's not fair to involve kids in pretty much anything because you can't provide an accurate assessment or else you're a jerk.
That's true. I'll say those kids are jerks, Senator. I want you to agree with me. No, when we were kids, I could be a hobo, a witch, or a ghost. Now I'm all three. What say you, Senator?
I thought that's what Joe was in his bus.
Yes.
Shouldn't these kids have been in school? I mean, why did their parents take them out and send them to The View? And by the way, isn't it a form of child abuse to make your kid go to The View and watch it in person?
It is. It's elder abuse.
So, no, these costumes are not funny, especially the inflation costume. I don't think the American people think it's very funny, and I don't think the Democrats are going to think it's very funny next Tuesday.
That's a good point. Emily? Kelly, what do you think of was it a good idea, bad idea?
No, and what's crazy to me is that idea must have been green-lighted by a whole org chart, right?
Yeah.
Every editorial, every decision that happens on set, there's a whole chart that approves it. So there must have been 10 decision makers that were like, yes, that's a great idea. I'm not quite sure why someone didn't say, this is actually totally grotesque, inappropriate, and disgusting to use children as political props, especially that age children for that FBI raid. You think they know what a subpoena is?
Yeah.
Or surveillance is? I mean, how were they explained that? And then that guy who was the toilet, I wonder what his future holds.
Yeah.
Probably not too bright.
Joe, I'm just happy that Joy didn't go in blackface, or Whoopi didn't go in whiteface, or the Republican broad with her two faces didn't come out.
I think we're forgetting that that's a terrible costume.
Yeah, it is.
That's like Will Smith slapped the guy. He didn't beat him to death with the Oscar statue.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to do. She couldn't go as Chris Rock or as Will Smith, right?
Well, they have a hand swing. This is nonsense. We should go back to the good costumes we wore when I was a kid, which was a plastic mask with 3 dime-sized slits cut into it.
Yes.
That had a rubber band cutting off your circulation and a staple going into your temple, and a bag that said flammable.
Yeah, you had no idea why you were sick at the end of the night, breathing in some weird plastic contraption. Yeah. Up next, you're not alone if automation makes you scream into your phone.
My team and I are always moving around our country to connect with so many great people. My schedule is extremely fast-paced. And as I've gotten older, well, the aches and pains have crept into all parts of my life. But I'm not ready to slow down. That's why I take Relief Factor. I feel the difference it makes in my life. You can too. Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better. Would you like to get back to living the life you used to live without aches and pains, including elbow, hip, knee, neck, and back pain? That's what Relief Factor has done for me. I feel the difference all day, every day, and it's 100% drug-free. I know by taking Relief Factor every day, I can live the life I want to live. And you can too. Get your 3-week quick start for only $19.95. Move more, live more. You deserve to live the life you love. Just decide that now is a time to take control of your pain. Call 1-800-4RELIEF to order now, or go to ReliefFactor.com. Why wait to live the life you love? Just enjoy your life more with Relief Factor.
This is war, and we're up.
We knew this day might come.
Doesn't make it any easier.
The North Koreans came pouring over the 38th parallel. Those boys are holding on by their fingernails. And they need what only we can give them.
Ready, set, hit it!
We're gonna give them hell.
Devotion. Rated PG-13 in theaters November 23rd.
Get tails and tongues wagging with colorful custom graphics. Fast Signs. Make your statement.
If you have thyroid eye disease and your inflamed eyes are so watery they need windshield wipers, it might be time to discover another treatment option. To learn more, visit treatted.com. That's treat.com.
Getting ready for a red wave? From the heartland to the Northwest, see how the midterms could impact the GOP. Vance, Smiley, and McCarthy have the latest next Hannity.
Hi, William Devane here. It's the Medicare annual enrollment period, and this year it's simple. 1, before the deadline, call the number at the bottom of your screen. 2, check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan with $0 premiums, prescriptions, dental care, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out what you're eligible for. The annual enrollment period has a deadline, so don't delay, call now.
I called to find a plan that covers more of my dental expenses.
I call every year to make sure my doctor is still in my plan.
I called to see if my zip code has a plan with the benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I call every year.
Call to find out the changes to your plan and see if you're eligible for anything new. The annual enrollment period has a deadline, so don't delay, call now.
Call 1-800-433-4182. That's 1-800-433-4182 now.
If you spent time on base at Camp Lejeune prior to 1988 and developed any of these cancers or suffered any of these injuries, you may be eligible for significant financial compensation.
Leaking underground tanks contaminated the drinking water with benzene and other highly carcinogenic chemicals.
There have been numerous reported cases of exposed personnel developing cancer and other serious health conditions. Call Camp Lejeune victims to discuss your case now.
800-826-4954. A story in 5 words.
Story in 5. Consumers prefer dealing with people. Emily, recent poll found the majority of people prefer dealing with a live person versus an automated system on the phone. It must be hard for that automated person dealing with someone like you.
What? Why?
Because you talk too fast.
Whatever.
Except for now. For some reason, you're talking slow.
What I will say
point,
is that this is the most Captain Obvious poll of all time.
Yes.
Because it went on to say that the industry specifically where people still prefer humans are hairstyling and like journalism and things where you're like, obviously, when is there going to be a robot that's ever going to do my hair ever? No, thank you.
Oh, I would love to have a haircut from a robot.
No.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. What do I care? I look beautiful. Senator, isn't it the problem here is that the system is infallible, but humans are? We're the problem.
Well, it's like whenever these tech companies say it's our algorithms that do this. Well, someone had to make the algorithm. I, of course, like all of you, prefer to deal with humans. Artificial intelligence has its place. It's important for our economy. It's important for our security.
Yes.
You know, Israel protects itself from incoming missiles with its Iron Dome system. Frankly, in Washington, if we got a little artificial intelligence, it would probably increase the total level of intelligence there.
I agree. I agree with that. In fact, I believe that all judges should be robots because there's no emotion and they don't get hungry. This show is completely affected by my hunger pangs. Do you know that?
I do know that. I do know that. I don't like the automated systems. Just once I want to have them tell me, you know what? Our menu options haven't changed. I just would love to hear that. But yeah, it's so strange. I do like talking to the customer service representative, and that's why before they even picked up, I'm screaming, representative, representative, representative.
Do you know what? I have this theory, Kat, that what Joe just said is exactly how a dog thinks when it's barking. A dog barking is like a human talking to an automated system, shouting like, pay balance! Pay balance! English! That's what a dog is doing when it's barking. It's like trying to talk to.
Yeah. I hate dealing with an automated system, but I wish I could have one.
Yes.
It's like it would know to type, wow, awesome, congrats, I'm so happy for you. Or OMG, I'm so sorry, sad face. Like, depending on what the thing is.
But that's predictive text on your phone.
Oh, I'm talking about I'm asleep, I don't even have to know about it.
Oh, there you go. Well,
yeah, and I'd be shocked to be like, oh, there's a baby? Where'd that come from? But yeah, I get so pissed because if you can do anything from an automated system, you can probably also do it on the internet. And like, I know about the internet by now.
Yes. It's terrible, kids. Only with adult supervision. All right. Don't go away. We'll be right back.